Okay. Hilchos fin Halacha Zayin. Today is Yutes Kislev. It is the Yotzeit of the Heilige Magid. And Hasidus Chabad is celebrating the release of the Baal Atanya from jail in Peterburg. And which is a very, very scary experience for him. You know, I know that popular the picture of the situation is that, like, you know, he came there and he was like totally unaffected by the whole thing, and like, you know, everybody came there and bowed out to him and the whole thing, you know. But, you know, that's nice, you know, the Chassidish stories, but that's not the way it was. The Maisa, it was such a scary situation that he actually forgot his Teffilin in jail. You know, it was, you know, it's not a simple thing. People make this mistake, you know, they think that if they'll, you know, they'll portray their, you know, the tzaddik as somebody that is like, you know, photoshopped and retouched, you know, that it's you can see that, you know, that from Rabbeinu on the trip to Eretz Yisrael, there was the storm wind and everything, and so the person that was with Rabbeinu, you know, said, you know, that you know, save us, you know, do whatever. He says, I can't. I'm in the katnus. You know, I'm constricted consciousness now. I can't do this. And he told the other person, you don't have to daven full shmoneh. So he told the other person, you can just do it b'chutzel, because the sakona, it's not a small thing. It's not a. People like to think, you know, that, you know, the Rebbe, he came down Mishamayim perfect. You know, it doesn't need any work, doesn't need any polish. You know, it's just like and nobody says, you know, people make two mistakes. They think that tzaddikim don't make mistakes, and secondly, they think if a tzaddik makes a mistake that he's always tzaddik. No.
The Aveira is the Aveira, and
the tzaddik is a tzaddik. It's nothing to do with that. It's, whatever it is, the Alter Rebbe was very, very big. Was obviously very, very big.
Petersburg wasn't a jail you can easily get out of, right?
You could not get out of.
It's like Siberia. Once you're
no, Petersburg is not Siberia, but it's like what they call Lubyanka, the KGB's headquarters in Dzerzhinsky Street in Moscow. This is the place where black vans used to bring people at night during Stalin days. And you know, and not to be seen again. It was not no fun. And the Magid, of course, the Magid HaKadosh Mizrich Zchutot Hagen Aleinu B'ezrat Hashem, today in the Yotzeit B'ezrat Hashem, you know, the Maisa was that you know, he's not buried in Mezrich, he's buried in Anipoli, where Rabbi Zisha was the brother of Rabbi Melech, was his town, and what happened was that in those areas there was a plague, you know, the bubonic plague was at the time. So
it's in Ukraine, or no?
Yeah. It's so the Magid ran away from Mezrich. You know, in the Chassidish stories, you probably want to say it that. What the
No.
What?
You have in the beard.
In the beard.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, I see. Sorry about that. All right. Anyhow.
I wasn't easy.
Yeah, I know. I was like, go look for it. So the town of Anipoli was cordoned off, was quarantined. They wouldn't let anybody that came from the areas where the plague was to come in town, because they didn't want the people to get it. So the Rebbe Zisha, who was very choshev by the people, by the goyim also. They knew so he told them that they should let the Maggid in town, and he told them, I promise you, as long as he's in town, nobody's going to die from the plague. It'll be no, I don't know, not die bichlal or not die from the plague, whatever it is. But the point is that V'kacha, he came into town, to let him, and so they wouldn't let him leave. He says, that's it. You're staying here. We got an insurance policy again. Nobody's dying. So he passed away then. He's buried there. He's buried in Anipoli. So yes.
I didn't let him leave. Right.
Would you let him leave? No. It's like a...
Bottom was on.
Okay, so we are holding in Seif Zayin that we said that the only way that you can know of the name of Hashem and to aggrandize the name of Hashem is only through the tzaddik emes, because he is shomer bris b'shleimus. And it says in all the abuvia, the fact that you don't know where the tzaddik is, we explained yesterday that unless the bris is rectified b'shleimus, and therefore the name of Hashem cannot shine to you, you cannot see yourself. You cannot see yourself properly. I mean, you cannot see yourself, you cannot see anything around you properly. So how can you possibly even hope, to know what's what and who's who? You're basically like somebody who's floating in the middle of the ocean in a barrel and trying to navigate according to the face of the fish around you. I mean, how the heck do you know where to go? Because you have to understand, knowing where to go and which way to go and how to judge where you are and where you should go is totally dependent on your perspective. It's not the intelligence. The only way that you can have the proper perspective is through, a keli of emunah that is totally clean. In other words, on one hand, it is open to everything it needs to be open to. On the other hand, it is totally protected from whatever it needs to be protected from. It's only then that you can see which way you need to go. If I can tell you that, listen, there is a sniper in the street, and you don't believe me, then you're in mortal danger. If I tell you there's a sniper in the street and I'm just kidding you, what?
You just laugh about it.
Just and you think that the point is that emunah, the emunah has to be, the proper emunah has to be in the emes. Because emunah without emes is false emunah, is nonsense. It's like me telling you that there's a lion in the street and you're locking yourself up in your house. You don't dare to go out. It's like. So the point is, so Nosson says it that the value of emunah is only when you believe in the truth. But the truth, the ascertaining of the truth is totally dependent on emunah.
So you said before that that's why people believe in nonsense, because it has a little bit of emes. Right?
The Rebbe said, what the Rebbe says is that it is worthwhile to believe in even nonsense, as long as you believe also in the emes, then not to believe in the nonsense and not believe at all. It's something else. But what I'm saying is, these are two separate things. But what I'm saying is that the emunah depends on truth, because emunah in shtisim obviously is nothing. But the ascertaining of what the truth is also dependent on emunah. So if emunah is dependent on the truth and the truth is dependent on emunah, so you go back and forth endlessly. So where do you start? You can't know what the truth is without emunah. And emunah doesn't mean anything unless it comes from truth. So it depends on truth. So Russell says that the way it starts, the place it starts, is from the svara. A sechel-dik assumption that you see from afar that shekach roi lamin, that this is proper to believe. That the Torah is emes, Baruch Hashem, we believe that and you see the tzaddikim that have worked on themselves so hard throughout their lives, to clean themselves and ascertain themselves with, and you see that everybody or most of the people, or many of the people that are close to them are really tzaddikim and ovdei Hashem. You can see it around you. So in your mind, you tell Mistama, that's the emes. The Torah is emes. I know that they worked, whatever it is. You look at this for him, and look at the people that have been close to them for like 200 years. They're all ovdei Hashem. So it stands to reason, and that's what the emes is. And this is the beginning of the emunah. But to achieve the emunah itself, this is dependent totally on Kedushas HaBris. This is the essence of the war of Amalek in every generation. Amalek is the filth of the snake, that it is combined from all the evil and vileness in all the four elements. So this is the kernel, the spiritual kernel of all the exiles. Bivchinas Reishis Goyim Amalek, the very source, the very root of Goyim and of Goyishkeit is Amalek. And it has been the whip hanging on the wall for Am Yisrael for every generation. In every generation, in every generation, Amalek is standing, is actually ambushing, the public and every individual every single day. And he is the Malshin, and he is the Malchamavis, he's everything. Because first he incites and entices every person in his own times, in his own bad midas, to whatever it is that he brings the person about. And he makes him falter. He trips him up when he's young. Each one according to whatever. And then he entices him, to chase after greatness, be a billionaire, be a tycoon, be a to run after money and to run after covet. All the jealousy and all the taivas and all the covet and all the fame, all the bad traits are called nimshach miklipas Amalek. It all is derivative from the klipa of Amalek, the husk of Amalek. And not only this, it's not, it doesn't end there. It makes such a big confusion until it becomes a big machlokes between the Talmidei Chachamim themselves. And it aggrandizes the lie in the world. And it puts, these evil thoughts and heresies in the world. And it puts up, leaders. They actually, the Yair Lapid has Rachmanis over the Charedim,
What's takana?
Takonas in rectification of Israel.
Okay.
They want to fix Israel. They have Rachmanis, Kaideh v'yev shalarich bezekan. It's impossible to speak about this at length. All this is the war against Amalek in every generation. the main kinna and the incitement of Kripas Amalek Ulalim Velasti Otzadikemes is to cover up and hide the light of the true tzaddikim. Shem Pchinat Shem Hashem. They are the flashlight. They are the torch through which emanates the Shem Hashem, the light of Hashem. That's why Kodesh Baruch Hu swore שנשמור שלם עד שימוך זכר Amalek until the any residue, any memory of Amalek is going to be blotted out. כמו שאמרו חז"ל, כי השם יצבח בעצמו כביכול צריך למחול ממנו בכל דור ודור. The truth is that the true milchama against Amalek is up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. כמו שכוסו מלחמה על השם Amalek מדור דור. Every generation, it's a war of Hashem against Amalek in every generation. כי זה העיקר. This is the main tsunami of Amalek, that שרוצה להעלים עיר הצדיק, that he wants to totally conceal and hide the name of the light of the tzaddik, שהוא בחינת שם השם, that comes in the name of Hashem, שלא להודיעו חס ושלום מדור ודור, so that one generation to the next should know about this. It's
even with tzaddikim, you said once.
They have there are these comedians that Israeli comedians. So they made like a funny skit about the ignorance of Israeli children when it comes to Torah.
Torah?
Yeah. You know that like Esther that killed Goliath with a sling, and that it's like like they say the story that
how big was Moshe's Ark?
Yeah, something like that. It's like they said that an inspector, the school inspector from the Ministry of Education, comes to a school in one of the kibbutzim. And he wants to ask he asks one of the children and says, "Tell me, who broke the luchos? Who broke the tablet?" So the kid says, "It wasn't me. I didn't do it." So the guy's like, "That's unbelievable. What's a Yiddish kid, you wouldn't know. Who broke the luchos?" So he's talking to the teacher. So he went to the teacher and said, "I can't believe this. I asked this kid who broke the luchos and says it wasn't me." So the teacher says, "Listen, I know he's a good kid. If he said he didn't break it, then he didn't break it." So the inspector freaks out. He runs to the manager of the school and says, "You're not going to believe what happened." He says, "What happened?" He says, "I asked the kid who broke the luchos, and it wasn't me." So I asked the teacher, and he says, "Listen, I believe he's a good kid. I mean, if he said it wasn't him." So can you believe this? The manager says, "Come on, let's let's not make a big deal. How much is it? Let's let's not make a big deal out of this. What's the damage?" Hashem Yirachem, that's a pshat of breaking the transmission from one generation to the next. That's what Amalek wants. This is it. I mean, it's funny, but it's extremely sad. This is the Churban of Israel.
This is the Yavanim, the war we're
fighting. Yeah. And the way to overcome it all the time is B'gam Bris. Is that through that it keeps on putting the filth, the dafka there in the bris, because the bris is the thing that enables progeny, the bris, the future generation to exist. So if they put a pgam in there, that's the thing that kills the continuity of the relation of the Shem Hashem. And that's why he thinks, being that he's pogim in the bris is the way to continue generations. So Amalek figures that's the way to accomplish it. But an ignorant man will not know. That the tzaddik haemes is already sanctified himself in Kedusha Bris in such an awesome kedusha that his kedusha oleh ala kol. His kedusha supersedes everything. Because it's through the extent of his sanctity. He brought about such a supernal das and awareness that it is impossible to hide it. It's totally and ultimate and utterly impossible to hide it. B'shum often, no way. It's through this everybody could be mamshich the true holy das from one journey to the next. Because that's the das of the Heilige Torah that we got through Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom. That Hashem already promised him, and also he knew they will believe forever. That all the tzaddikim that bring about new relations in the Torah through this das, this holy das that Moshe Rabbeinu brought to the world, to bring in and to establish, deep, true advice, that through which it is possible to mekayim kol divrei Torah. It is impossible to hide the light in any way, shape, or form. Because a language of truth, will stand forever. Because ultimately, really, the truth is that the entire Israel is also Shem Abris al der mitzvah samila akdoisha, through the mitzvah of the Heilige Bris Milah. The great majority of Am Yisrael are on this Milah. Now they have in throughout the world, the Goyim have this. Now they want to forbid they want to forbid bris milah and kosher shchita, and so they just have it's nothing new. The Greek already did it before. It's just they have a different name for it. It's all the same thing. Like I heard from the Rebbe's holy mouth, that through the mitzvah sabris, the entire Am Yisrael is included in the camp of Shomer Abris. Ki kol zeh b'chinas mitzvahs milah, the whole what's the whole thing of the mitzvah of the bris? Ulachtach levar orla is to cut and to get rid of the orla. Shu b'chinas klipas Amalek. That's the foreskin is the husk of Amalek. V'zeh b'chinas chituch u'priya. And you have to do cut, and you have to split the inner membrane. These are the two clouds that cover up the eyes. As this is Romi Rabata v'Romi Za'irta, as the Rebbe says in that particular Torah. That's the thing that makes the whole Beis Hamikdash. This is the story of Bereshis that we spoke about. And these two clouds, that cloud up the eyes and block the sight to see where you are and where you're going to. This is the klipas Amalek that covers up the bris kodesh, and you remove it through the mitzvah of chituch, of cutting off the ola and splitting the membrane. That's Hashem will continue on Sunday. No, because he has to finish in 7 minutes. So
can you upload it? Because I forgot to record.
Yeah.
Can you please stop the?
My